In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Lenovo's new Legion handheld, and it's not exactly as it seems. While we've got some really nice controls built in here, an 8.8-inch display, awesome battery life, and a really powerful CPU, this is a bit different from what we've seen in the past, and that's because this is actually a two-part handheld gaming machine. This is the Legion G9 controller. You might notice we don't have a screen here, so with that, we're not going to get a CPU, we're not going to get any RAM, and we really can't even use it like it is. And that's because this is meant to be paired up with the new Lenovo Legion Tab 4. This has been one of my favorite tablets. It's got an 8.8-inch 165Hz display and a Snapdragon 8 Elite. At the time of making that video, the G9 controller was not available, so I wasn't able to test it, but I do think that this is actually a really awesome idea. The G9 itself is coming in with a price tag of $99. As you can see, around back here, we can pull this right off. It's also got a little round section that we can remove in case you wanted to add a cooling system to the Lenovo Legion Tab 4. Now, I don't have the specific Legion cooler, but I've got this one that I picked up a while ago on Amazon. Looks like it may fit. For this video, we're just going to leave this right in place and just use it like it is. Obviously, in order to get this up and running, we'll need that Legion Tab 4, and it's going to snap right in the back panel here. And you could actually leave the back panel installed on the tablet when you're using it in tablet mode. Doesn't add much weight. It is constructed of plastic. With this, it does have a locking system, so it can be inserted directly into the G9, and it connects over USB Type-C. So we've got no latency there with that USB Type-C port. And keep in mind, the Tab 4 has two USB Type-C ports. We've got one on the bottom, which actually allows us to connect to an external monitor. So we're really not losing anything by having this inserted into the G9. Once it snaps into place, we've actually got a little lock right here. Go ahead and lock it in. And now we're ready to go with the G9 controller and the Tab 4. So it's going to bring up our Legion space, or what they're calling Ultra Controller. That's the application that we have here. We can update the firmware of the controller. We've got a game launcher. We can adjust the sticks, triggers, and all of the buttons on this controller directly from the software. We've also got RGB control. And it really does feel like a true handheld once this thing's all together. It does have linear triggers, but we've got some locks around here. So if you want to make them hair triggers, you can do that pretty easily. We've got them on both sides there. Nice grippy surface with the G9 controller. And overall, I do think the whole thing looks pretty sleek once it's inserted into the G9. The controller also came with 4 extra thumbsticks here, so you can replace these. You can go with those smaller ones if you want to, but the ones that came pre-installed are the ones that I'm going to be keeping on my unit. Here's a quick comparison. We've got the Steam Deck OLED on top and that G9 controller with the Tab 4 installed. The Tab 4 is a bit larger with this G9 all put together, but it's much lighter than the Steam Deck OLED. Taking a closer look at the G9, once the tablet's in here, we've still got access to that front-facing camera. There's a little piece of acrylic over on the left-hand side. It also takes those side-firing speakers on the tablet and turns them into front-firing speakers. So we've got these little cutouts here, and it still sounds really good with it set up inside of here. There's a couple other programmable buttons here on the G9, and on the bottom, we've got a 3.5mm audio jack, and like I mentioned, we've got another USB Type-C port on this tablet, so we can still charge it up, we can sync it, and we can connect it to an external display. Up top, we've got our shoulder buttons, triggers, power button, volume. Everything's still accessible on this tablet except for that side-mounted USB Type-C port. Really nice grippy texture here, along with our trigger locks and 4 macro keys that we can program from software. Access to the rear camera, and again, we've got that removable midsection in case you wanted to add a cooler to the tablet itself. If you haven't guessed by now, the Tab 4 is powered by Android, and we can navigate the full operating system with the G9 controller installed, but we've also got this Ultra Controller software. It's an APK that you can install, gives us a nice game launcher, recommendation on our games, and from the settings, we can actually set up all of the keys here. You can adjust the dead zones, reprogram the buttons, change the RGB, and just to give you a closer look at this Ultra Controller software, I'm going to move into my game capture real quick. Okay, so like we saw, we've got the Ultra Controller application installed, and from here, there's actually a lot of great stuff that we can do here with the G9. We've got a nice game launcher right here, and if we go into one of these games, there's a couple things that we can do. From this little icon right here, we can remove from library, and we can switch launch method, which means if we've got this installed from, let's say, a third-party app store instead of Google Play, It'll be listed here, but this is just straight through Google Play right now. And if we go to launch a game that doesn't natively support Android controllers, it will bring up a menu and allow us to kind of map the on-screen touch points to the G9 controller. For the most part, everything that I've tested here has worked with the controller. I didn't have to do any kind of mapping. It used to be that with Genshin Impact we had to, but now we've got full controller support in Android, so it is working. From our menu, go to Game. It's going to bring up a different layout for our game launcher. We can start our games directly from here. Popular mobile games right down here. So if there's something that pops up you might want to play, it'll bring us right over to Google Play. And up in the top left-hand corner, we've got our home, game, device, settings. From settings, we can clear the cache, about the application itself. And from device, we can go to My Devices, Device Center. From here, it'll ask us if we want to connect a new device. And as soon as I plugged this in, it just registered it. It worked just fine. Moving back over, we can update the firmware if there's firmware available. It's up to date with this unit. And we've got full control over those macro keys around back, so we can map our R4, R5, L5, L4. From joysticks, we can adjust the dead zones. Vibration, increase the vibration intensity. We've actually got separate motors in here, left and right, so these can be adjusted individually. From our triggers, again, just like with the joysticks, we can change our dead zones. Lighting for that built-in RGB, and personally, I just like the rainbow here. But we can change the left and the right individually, so you can have two different colors going at one time. You can totally disable it. You can change the brightness of both, separate them from right here. That way you can adjust each individually. Function, we've got a controller tester right here, and these analog sticks are really nice. They center right back up. We've got that full linear throw on the triggers around back, and the D-pad here does work pretty decently. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the way it's shaped. It's got a nice roll to it, but I do find myself kind of getting caught on the edges, so we'll take a look at that in just a bit with a fighting game. But for what they have right now with the G9 software, it's actually pretty nice. And tapping that Legion button twice will bring it right back to the desktop. Now it's time to move into some native Android gaming, and with the Tab 4, I mean, we've got that Snapdragon 8 Elite, so there's really no Android game that you're not going to be able to run maxed out at full speed. And the 8.8-inch 165Hz display does look really good. I said it before with the original Legion Tab, I think it was the Legion Tab 2 or 3, they basically used the same display that they used on the Legion Go. It was a 144Hz 8.8-inch display. This is an upgraded version of that. I didn't need to do any kind of adjustment with these analog sticks, and by the way, they are Hall-based, so you don't have to worry about stick drift. And just to give you an idea, going into the settings for Fortnite, from here, we're at 90 FPS, highest settings, 100% resolution scale, and I've got the HD textures already downloaded, ready to go. So this Snapdragon 8 Elite does have more than enough power for Android gaming. PUBG, Call of Duty Mobile, all of that stuff you're going to be able to max out. And now that we finally have native controller support for Genshin Impact on Android, all we need to do is just go into the settings, tell the game that we want to use a controller. We didn't have to use an on-screen key mapper or anything like that. And from the software, like I mentioned, we do have it, just in case you run into a game that doesn't support a controller. So you could set this up with basically anything that's running on Android. What you're going to do is just map on-screen touch points to the physical controller from software. I've got my on-screen performance metrics up. It might be a bit hard to see, but this game maxes out at 60 FPS on Android, and we're at the highest settings. I also wanted to test out a little bit of emulation, and for this I figured we'd go with some Wii using Dolphin Emulator. Tatsunoko versus Capcom. This will also give us a chance to test out this D-pad here. The overall feel of it is nice. It's got good roll, but I just don't like the way it's shaped. I kind of get caught on the edges every once in a while with it, and that's because it's got kind of a concave right in the middle of it. It's something that I could get used to, but it would be nice if it's just a flat D-pad here, or maybe even the option to kind of swap it out for a different D-pad would have been really awesome. Here's some PS2 emulation using Nether SX2. I've got Gran Turismo 4 here running at 3x, and I believe we could probably go up to 4x with it. The resolution of this screen is great for like a 3x upscale on Dolphin using GameCube, Wii, or even PS2 here with Nether SX2. And of course, since we've got an Android system here, in order to play PC games properly, I know there are some emulators out there that actually work pretty decently. Using something like Steam Link would probably be the way to go. Cloud gaming is another option if you want to use GeForce Now or Xbox Cloud Gaming, but I do like streaming from a PC I already have. That way, I kind of experience very low latency. I'm in the house, and the PC that I'm streaming from is always connected over Ethernet. That way, I've only got one side working wirelessly, which would be the tablet side here with the Legion Tab 4. So would it be worth buying something like this instead of, let's say, a Steam Deck or even just a Legion Go? Personally, I don't think so. Now, if you know exactly what you're getting into and if you're looking for an Android device, I do think that the tablet is awesome. Go with the tablet. It's an extra $99 to pick up the G9 controller. And if you've already got the tablet, I do think that this is one of the best accessories that I've ever seen for a tablet. And it would be well worth getting if you've already got the tablet or plan on getting the tablet in the first place. But, if you kind of had to decide between, let's say, the Legion Go or a Steam Deck versus this, I would go with either the Steam Deck or the Legion Go if you're looking for a dedicated handheld gaming machine. It'd be really cool if we saw somebody come to market with a universal device like this, but fitting different screen sizes is going to be a bit of a challenge. So I don't think we're going to see that. But newer tablets releasing, some companies may follow suit. If they can keep the cost down on this and the tablet, might be a viable option for some people out there. But either way, I do think it's a really awesome idea, and it works out great here with the Legion Tab 4. If you're interested in learning a little more, maybe picking one of these up, I'll leave links to both of these in the description below. And if there's anything else you want to see tested with this controller and the Tab 4, just let me know in the comments below. That's it for this one. Like always, thanks for watching.